How are you?
I'm very well indeed. Very busy, like stupidly busy, but that's good.
I would imagine, first of all, I mean, obviously congratulations because you're number one.
I am, yeah, at the moment. It's amazing.
How does that feel? I mean, first of all, where were you when you got the news?
I was on stage in the middle of, I did a bunch of installs on Sunday. So I was, I was in the middle of the song and someone just popped their head up standing at the counter.
Smiling from ear to ear, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, she also, like, she kind of did that and I went, so I was kind of like, yeah, ooh. And then I had to stay really quiet.
I mean, this isn't the first time that you were number one, because your first album got to number one.
First album
had a top three with your second album as well.
Yeah, went in.
How does it feel to find out that you are number one of the charts in the country?
It's mental every time. It's been very strange this time. I've never been quite so aware of the process before.
Yeah.
Because I think you actually get more information now than you used to. Because I've literally known every day what the sales were.
Really?
Last week, and it was horrible.
So you sort of
I really don't recommend it. I think if anyone does kind of get into chart stuff, just ask not to be told what's happening because it's so stressful.
Living on the edge.
It's horrific. I swear with the first one, like I found out on Wednesday roughly where it was, and then found out on Sunday where it landed, and that's how it used to be. But now literally every day, you're like, oh, it's gone up a bit, it's gone down a bit, oh, it's up a bit again, oh, it's down a bit again, oh, it's up, oh, someone else is creeping up.
They're just like, teasing you along the way.
God, this is so like, completely maddening.
So the album's called Write It On Your Skin. So
yes.
For anyone who hasn't heard it yet, talk us through the new album and what we can expect to hear.
Well, it's a different beast to anything I've done before. It's much more. I think the main difference is it's much more at ease with itself than anything I've done before. I think I've really kind of found my place. I kind of made the decision after the second record to not to try and fit in any way, which is definitely the right thing to do in terms of kind of having a long career and actually kind of obviously keeping all the fans you've got and then kind of building off it when you can, which is kind of when it's kind of deemed to be cool. And I've been at both ends of the spectrum, because obviously when the first album came out, acoustic stuff was kind of at the top of its game, like that's what was kind of in. And then second album just didn't get a look in. It was all like, I think radio was at its most kind of urban and dancey, and I kind of poked my head. It was like going into like a Western saloon. I kind of opened the door and the music stops and everyone went, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Nothing." I just kind of quietly left.
Do you ever feel
that? I kept gigging, obviously, because gigs are kind of, that has nothing to do with fashion or any of that. But it's weird kind of feeling it swing back into fashion and then kind of just stepping out again like, "Hey, I'm back." And everybody like, "Yeah, you're cool again." It's like, this is ridiculous.
Do you ever feel the need to conform? Because I mean, a lot of acts swap their style for something that's probably, listened to a lot more at the time. Do you ever feel the pressure of doing that?
No, I'm never going to do that. Unless I mean, the only way that'll happen is if I do it by mistake. Like, I just get it right. But I'm not going to try and get it right.
So you're never going to switch to dance music at some stage?
It's just not going to happen, is it? No, I'm just going to keep doing what I do, and occasionally it'll kind of be on the radio, and occasionally it won't get a look in. I think I'm just going to have to get used to that, I think.
So how do you think you've grown as an artist over the 3 albums up to this point of Write It On Your Skin?
Well, the first album was very much, I think its charm was kind of its naiveness, and it was very kind of, it was very young sounding and very kind of, it was very honest for the time when I wrote it. It was kind of very honest in its kind of naivety. It was very just like, "Oh, come on guys, can't we just be nice?"
Yeah.
And then the second album was actually quite dark by comparison, I guess. I mean, there was some fun stuff on there. Sonically, it was much darker, and also I dug really deep in terms of kind of content and stuff, like into my own kind of personal life. And there's some stuff on that album that I still find really hard to play and sing, because there's loads of stuff on that album that's really personal. I think it's partly because I couldn't play guitar for like a big chunk of the writing process. So what I had to do was, I was kind of sitting there typing with one finger with my left hand on loads of painkillers, holding my hand and just writing really, really kind of brutally honest songs.
Because I was going to ask, where do you get your songwriting sort of inspirations from?
Just
Where does it
from
all come
whatever. I mean, I generally write the kind of stuff that I need to hear.
from? Yeah.
I think that's generally kind of what I try and do, because I think on this album, I think one of the things that has made it connect a lot more is I've kind of, like, I've had a bit of a life over the last 3 years, which I hadn't in the first two. Like, I'd done a lot of stuff, but it'd been the same stuff over and over again. Like, I just gigged and promoted the first album for 2 years. That's it. Nothing else had happened, which meant that I hadn't changed a lot as a person. I hadn't, like, learnt a lot. I hadn't really grown. I'd just kind of been in kind of a mixture of kind of Groundhog Day and stasis. I was just, that's all I knew. And then obviously after the second album, kind of things changed a lot, because obviously my graph kind of didn't look so good because it went straight in there, and I kind of went ooh straight after the third, because we didn't get radio, which was for the reasons that I explained earlier, just because it was completely irrelevant what I was doing to kind of Radio 1 hardcore fashion culture at that point, which is obviously very different this time round, because it suddenly makes perfect sense again. But with this album, I think the process was very different, because it was all very kind of casual. And I was writing with friends, and I got friends in to play stuff, and I did a lot of stuff at home. Like a huge chunk of the vocals and the kind of guitar takes were done at kind of 4 o'clock in the morning in my pants with a glass of red wine. It was like, it's so hilarious to me to look back over the process and look back at all the times I spent in my little soundproof box at home, not really knowing what was going to happen, but just trying to make the best kind of sounds that I could.
Yeah. And
to look back at me kind of sitting there thinking, should I do a vocal? Yeah, everyone's asleep and I can't sleep, so let's have a crack at something, let's pull something up. Actually, I feel like singing that, let's pull it up. And kind of literally pulled a mic to me sitting in a chair, didn't get up, didn't move. It was like, la la la, there's a song, and then it's number one, and it was like, it's amazing.
It's the way to do it.
Definitely. No, I think I'm carving a path for myself.
Because you work quite extensively with your brother on this record, more
yeah,
so on this one than previous records.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'd always written together, but on this one we were kind of very much like, I mean, the album's here, so if I look through the back, so that's me and my brother, that's me and my brother, that's me and my brother, that's me and my brother. Those two aren't, that's me and my brother, that's just me. That was me and sounded a bit, and then that was me and my brother. So it's me and my brother over kind of 90%.
Majority of it, yeah. It must be pretty nice to share that. It's such an integral part of your life, obviously.
Yeah,
share that with family as well.
Yeah, it was amazing. Well, writing with my brother is something like we did. I'm trying to think how many tracks we did on the first time. We did UFO and Gone in the Morning. The first serious song we ever wrote together was I Took It Out on You, which is still one of my favourite songs I've ever written. I love it. That's on the second album. So, and then on this album, we just kind of solidified ourselves as kind of a writing team. I mean, we might even kind of as a team start doing stuff for other people as well, which would be really fun.
So have you had any offers so far, or anyone in
Well, we've just got lots of
particular
stuff left over, so I'm kind of just thinking, well, that might work for her. And also I can approach it from a slightly different point of view, because I'm not just pitching songs. I can be like, look, I've got this lying around, and I can go very personally and be like, do you want that? If you do, it's there. If you don't, it's fine.
With the songs that you guys write, I mean, is it that you settle for the songs that you've written, you know, like all of them, or is it that you have, say, 3 songs per one that's included on the album that's sort of left to one side?
Yeah, there's a file on my computer that has nearly
Hundreds, I'm
70 songs in it.
Really?
It's got 70 songs, some finished, some kind of embryonic ideas, but all kind of far enough down the line to judge. So yeah, it's really
Future
really
B-sides, maybe?
I don't know, but I'm sure a lot. There's some things that are definitely on the next album already, and it's kind of like the next album's already got a slight sound to it.
Really?
Which is another step on from this one. But I can hear it in my head. I don't know where it's going to lie.
So are you going to be taking the record out on tour? Because you did a few dates a while back, like a few months back, and you've sort of been doing bits and bobs along the way. So is there going to be a full-on tour?
Yeah, no, there's one in October, kind of
brilliant.
On this album.
So is it going to be all around the UK?
Yeah, that's UK and Ireland and stuff.
So what can we expect in those? Because usually we get a few surprises with, I mean, particularly the covers, which everyone loves. Bohemian Rhapsody, I mean,
I'll just chuck in whatever I can think of. But like, it's still just me on my own as well, which is amazing. Like, I'm amazing that I'm still genuinely surprised that works to the kind of level that it does. Like, I did did a gig to 10,000 people the other day.
Wow.
And that's just, I kind of strolled out on my own in my socks. And it's weird, it's very much like making the album. Like I'm kind of just shouting some stuff into a mic, kind of in between sips. And that goes to number one. And then I kind of stroll in my socks and get kind of 10,000 people jumping. And it's so strange.
How do you remain grounded with you know, I mean, with the success that you have with the #1 albums and the sold out shows, and how do you remain grounded as an artist?
I don't really know. I just think that obviously there's a lot of kind of just rubbish in kind of terms of what you're told and what you say. So you have to take everything with not even a pinch of salt, like a whole truck full of salt is just involved in my daily life, and I'm very much kind of like it's my job, it's what I do. I love doing it, and I'm happy to be able to do it. And it's obviously it's not just how well I do it, but it's also like kind of everyone on kind of Facebook and Twitter and the people that come to gigs are like they kind of make my career by kind of supporting what I do. So very much, yeah, I think I kind of I give out as much as I can, but I get back so much that you kind of can't really get past that.
So obviously there's another congratulations in order as well, because you added a new addition to your family recently.
I did, yeah. No, I made a mini-me.
How do you juggle family life and the intense work of recording?
Oh, it's crazy at the moment. And recording was quite hard because he was tiny at the time. But it worked quite well because he was awake in the middle of the night, which was when I got home. So I got to see him for like this weird kind of gap in the middle, and I had to leave relatively early in the morning as well. So it was kind of, there have been kind of periods where it's been really brutal, but it'll all be worth it, and hopefully he'll like it when he's old enough to kind of really take it on board. And I did it's been a huge part of my mental process for this album has been making sure that it's basically good enough for him, because I don't want him to be like embarrassed by it when he grows up. I mean, it was really weird. It's definitely it's made me push myself harder than I've ever pushed myself before.
Is he going to have the daddy dreads?
Oh, no idea. That's completely up to him.
Well, it was great talking to you. Thank you very much. Hope the album continues to grow.
Let's see what happens, man.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much.